The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns have just stepped into the spotlight with a proposal that could completely reshape how the NFL operates for years to come. This is not just another minor rule tweak buried in off-season discussions. This is a bold attempt to rewrite how teams think about the future, risk, and the very idea of building a championship roster. Right now, NFL teams are limited when it comes to trading draft picks. The current rule allows teams to trade selections only up to 3 years into the future. It creates a natural boundary. It forces general managers to stay grounded. You can make aggressive moves, but only within a controlled window. That system has kept the league relatively balanced, preventing teams from completely mortgaging their long-term future for short-term success. Now imagine that boundary being pushed even further. The proposal backed by the Steelers and Browns would extend that limit from 3 years to 5 years. On paper, it sounds like a simple extension. In reality, it changes everything. It gives teams access to assets that are much further out, picks tied to players who are still in high school or just entering college. It allows front offices to operate with a level of freedom that the NFL has never truly seen before. To understand why this matters, you have to understand how valuable draft picks are in today's NFL. Draft capital is the backbone of roster construction. It is how teams find cheap talent, build depth, and sustain success over time. Expanding the trade window to 5 years turns those future picks into something closer to long-term financial assets. Teams could stack deals on top of each other, moving picks from different years in complex packages. A single trade could involve selections spread across half a decade. That kind of flexibility opens the door to a completely new style of team building. For aggressive franchises, this is a dream scenario. Imagine a contender that believes it is 1 or 2 players away from winning a Super Bowl. Under the current system, there is a limit to how much they can offer. With a 5-year window, that same team could push far more chips to the center of the table. They could trade multiple first-round picks from different future years to land a superstar. They could go all in without hesitation. And that is exactly why this proposal is so dangerous. Because for every team that gets it right, there will be others that get it very wrong. History has already shown what happens when teams overextend themselves. We have seen franchises trade away multiple high picks for quarterbacks or stars, only to watch those moves backfire. When that happens, under the current system, the damage is significant but manageable. With a 5-year window, the consequences become much more severe. A bad decision could haunt a team for half a decade or longer. Think about a scenario where a general manager trades away first-round picks in 4 or 5 consecutive future drafts. If the team fails to win, or if injuries derail the roster, there is no easy way out. No young talent pipeline, no quick reset. Just years of struggling without the tools to rebuild properly. This is where the real tension lies in this proposal. It creates opportunity, but it also creates vulnerability. Another layer to this is how it changes the mindset of decision makers. General managers and executives operate under pressure. Their job security often depends on short-term results. If given the ability to trade picks far into the future, some may be tempted to prioritize immediate success over long-term stability. In simple terms, they might gamble with assets they may never be around to see realized. That kind of thinking can lead to reckless behavior. It can create situations where a franchise's future is sacrificed for a brief window of competitiveness. At the same time, there is no denying the appeal of this change from an entertainment perspective. The NFL is already one of the most popular leagues in the world, but this kind of rule could take the drama to another level. Trade deadlines would become must-watch events. Fans would see stars changing teams in ways that were previously impossible. It would also bring the NFL closer to the style of other leagues where aggressive trades are more common. The idea of building a super team through bold moves could become a real strategy, not just a rare exception. Teams with elite quarterbacks would be especially dangerous. If a franchise believes it has a true franchise quarterback in his prime, it could justify sacrificing years of draft capital to maximize that window. That is likely one of the driving forces behind this proposal. The modern NFL revolves around quarterbacks more than ever before. When you have the right one, everything changes. Teams are constantly searching for ways to take advantage of that window before it closes. For the Steelers and Browns, this proposal is particularly interesting because of where both franchises stand. The Steelers have long been known for stability and disciplined roster building. They rarely make reckless moves. If an organization like that is supporting this kind of change, it suggests they see real strategic value in having more flexibility. The Browns, on the other hand, have already shown a willingness to take big swings. They have made aggressive trades in the past, including deals involving significant draft capital. For them, this proposal aligns with a philosophy that is more comfortable with risk in pursuit of high-reward outcomes. When two teams with such different reputations find common ground on an issue like this, it signals that the idea has broader appeal across the league. Still, approval is far from guaranteed. For this rule change to pass, it must be voted on by NFL team owners at the annual league meeting. That means convincing a majority of franchises that the benefits outweigh the risks. Some teams will likely support the proposal because they want more tools to compete. Others will push back, worried about the long-term impact on league balance and fairness. Smaller market teams in particular may have concerns. The current system helps maintain parity by limiting how far into the future teams can trade. Extending that window could give more aggressive or financially powerful organizations an edge. It could create a landscape where some teams consistently push all in while others are forced to play it safe. There is also the question of unintended consequences. Rules like this can have ripple effects that are hard to predict. Once teams start operating under a new system, strategies evolve quickly. What looks like a simple change can lead to complex outcomes that reshape the league in unexpected ways. One possible outcome is a more polarized NFL. You could see a clear divide between teams that go all in and teams that focus on long-term sustainability. The middle ground could shrink. Franchises might feel pressure to choose a path rather than operate conservatively. Another possibility is an increase in volatility. Teams could rise and fall much faster than before. A franchise might build a powerhouse roster through aggressive trades, dominate for a short period, and then collapse once those future picks come due. The cycle of contention and rebuilding could become more extreme. From a fan perspective, this change would make the NFL more exciting. Every season would feel bigger, and every trade could reshape a team instantly. But for teams, it raises the stakes. One smart move could build a champion. One bad decision could hurt a franchise for years. This proposal is really about giving teams more freedom. It does not force anyone to trade future picks, but it gives them the option. The challenge is using that freedom the right way. The smartest teams will stay balanced. They will know when to go all in and when to protect their future. The teams that fail to do that could face long-term damage. As the annual league meeting approaches, this decision could shape the future of the league. Either the NFL stays controlled and stable, or it moves into a more aggressive and unpredictable era. That is why this proposal matters so much.